Hi there, this is Dee here. I thought I'll do a video about the Chinese Jujube, which is a Chinese date. And as you can see, it's doing very well in the summertime. It's one of the best plants to grow when it's hot, when you have hot and warm temperatures. The leaves are so lush, very low maintenance, and every year around about this time the fruits start to come out. So the two trees that I have in here are already fruiting. The one outside, I don't know, maybe because due to the weather, they're not putting out as much fruit. One of the thing about Chinese date is they have a lot of succulent. As you can see, it just spread out. And it can become problematic if you don't maintain it. It will spread out everywhere. What has happened last year was I pruned it back, and because it was touching the shade house, the shade cloth, I needed to cut it back. Otherwise, it's just gonna reach the top. It'll be hard to manage. So maybe in a month time, I think it will be ready to eat. And certainly, I think this year I will give it away because I don't think I can finish it. Last year, because we didn't come up here often, a lot of it tends to rot away. After about 1 kilo of Chinese dates, I think that should be like enough, like you, for the season. Let's have a closer look here. You can see the succulent are just spreading out. The other thing is, because it's very thorny, you can see the thorn here. Those things are painful. Look how bad it is as they get like, you move further up. Also, pruning this is an issue because of the thorn. Get some like thick gloves, otherwise you're just going to end up, well, it's not like a lot of pain. It is painful, but then it will slow you down with your pruning if you don't have proper gear. Does it not look like the Táo Tàu, the Vietnamese apple, the small Vietnamese green apple, or the bear apple, as they call it in India? I might be wrong, but they look very much close, isn't it? And if I find maybe like, you know what, I'm gonna take one for a test drive, right? It looks very similar. See it here? Now I personally think that you can eat green jujube, Chinese jujube. It has that Chinese date, but it doesn't have the sweetness. There's a little bit of sweetness there. But when I was doing that video with the Vietnamese small green apples, the sourness was there. I haven't done enough research to tell you what property they are, although maybe that's not even like, an interesting topic to talk about. But from the look of, photos and eating this jujube here and eating the small green apples, the texture, the crunchiness is similar. The only thing is the different taste. The trees look similar, so they might be from like the same family. Hence, maybe in India they call it Indian jujube rather than green apples. So let's go outside and have a look at the other plants. The jujube out here, most of them I pruned last year. So I just want to keep a lower profile. When they fruit, it's just going to be within my reach. Honestly, I'm a very short person. Actually, you don't even need you don't even need me to tell you in order to see that I'm a short person. So this tree here, I didn't get the opportunity to prune. So I left maybe 2 or 3. Otherwise, the one over here, I did prune it down during the winter months. You see here, these are just the new shoot. Now, if I were to air layer this, certainly I can air layer, marcotte this, I can. Maybe when I have the time, I will. So these Chinese dates or jujube, they are different variety, and the ones out here, you can see that they are a bit longer. I highly recommend this if you like eating Chinese dates, and if you like should I say low maintenance when it's like this with all the suckers. I don't know. I'll let you go answer that question for yourself. Personally, to me, I think it's low maintenance in a sense I don't need to give it much attention. It does very well in this intense heat. And look how lush the color of the leaves are. They just love the heat. So in a sort of desert environment, these will do very well as well if you're limited with water. Otherwise, you have to manage the succulent. I think personally, that will be my number one negative for this particular plant. Most of the natives up here, like the animals, they enjoy the stuff that we plant more than us ourselves. They just help themselves, which is quite all right. You gotta give and take. That's in relationship, isn't it? That's how we harmonize. You can't be a taker all the time. Otherwise, you got nothing left. Today is a lot cooler than yesterday. I checked the weather. Yesterday was like 42, 43 degrees up here. So today it's probably going to reach about 30, maybe 31, 32. That's why I'm up here. And you can see that this is slightly different to the one inside the house, and also the one that I just showed you, which is opposite. It's more long. This one I pruned too. I personally think if I were to graft this or marcotte this, I would have a lot of jujube. But like I said in my previous video, I'm not a big fan of Chinese jujube. Totally went off track there. talk about jujube and I'm like turning opposite to pomegranate. Opposite me is an avocado farm and also a pomegranate farm. He grows heaps of pomegranate. I think this year he's doing a lot better. I'm very happy for him. His crops are doing very well. And the not custard apple, the avocado, oh my goodness. His avocado is doing absolutely amazing in the heat because he maintained it really, really well with all the sun cream and stuff. It's a lot of money, by the way. Okay, this is the other jujube. And see, they do have fruit. Not as many, but this will be smaller. But look at the thorn. Look at the thorn. And when you prune them, get rid of them ASAP, like in another area. Because once the branches are dry with the thorn on and it, hit you in somewhere in the thigh, my goodness. Painful. And the pain is not just there for a day, it persists like intermittently every now and then until it's completely healed. Right. I would have to watch my very old video on jujube in order to remember where I plant these and what variety it is. Here we go, there's some fruit over here. You can see a more significant difference with that one up there. It looks almost like a pear. The birds, the wild turkey belong to my neighbor, by the way. You can hear them in the background. So these one I pruned last year. It's just the very tall one that you can see over there. I never got to it. I don't know what happened. I sort of gave up. But I can see from the top. Actually, I'll finish filming this one. These are a smaller variety. They already have fruit like all the way up there, which I'm not going to be game enough to, get on my ladder and pick it. I'll just let the birds have it. So it's got some, it's coming in. And there's some over there. You can see that the varieties are slightly different in the shape. Taste-wise, in all honesty, it tastes all the same to me. Jujube. The crunch factor, the sweetness is depending on how ripe it is. If you like to dehydrate or hydrate them, you can. But best to eat them when they're ripe. But not too ripe, too sweet. The thing about having a good garden is like having a good life. the more you pay attention to it, you look after it, you put in the effort, the more you will see the fruit of your labor, isn't it? And if you neglect it, which I often do sometimes up here because it's so far away, it can fall apart. And that's the thing about our life, isn't it? We neglect aspect of our life, we will see difficulties showing up. And we have to sometimes think about, why is it that my life is not fruitful or abundance? It's because we don't want to put in the effort to fix that. Sometimes it's just hard, isn't it? Just like the border in WA. I can only laugh, the border in WA. I know a lot of people out there don't share my opinion about closing the border, but hey, I just have to observe and see what end up happening, because I don't look at it from a short term. I look at it from a long-term perspective, and the longer it persists, the more it's going to hurt the people. And unfortunately, if that's what people want, then they just have to learn to live with the consequences. That's what happens when you start to practice spirituality. You just allow people to be in their imperfection. And if you love them enough, you tell them certain things. But if they choose to persist in a certain way, then you just allow it to happen, and they will learn themselves what it needs to be learned. All right. I hope everyone is having a lovely day. I'll catch you all next time. Bye.